Yo, what's up? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We're here on StreamYard. We are live on 7 or 8, 9 different platforms right now. Let me see if we can get, here we go. Now we got Instagram coming online. All right, TikTok's online. What's up, TikTok phone? What is up, Instagram? What is up, YouTube, Facebook? What is up, all of our lovely friends? Today I wanted to get into something. I was looking at something on Redfin. I was actually looking at 2 different articles on Redfin that throwing things over here that I wanted to bring some attention to, because a lot of agents think that the market's going to just be easier because interest rates come down. And I can actually tell you that that's going to hurt you. Most agents, it's going to hurt. And the reason why most agents are going to suffer is because most agents haven't taken the time in the slow market, like 2023, like a lot of my private clients inside of the Real Estate Sales Academy, they haven't taken the time to figure out how to do a good buyer's consultation. Now, we already know that in 18 states, the laws have changed, right? Maybe by this time it'll be 19 or 20. But we know that in 18 or 19 states, you must have buyer agency to go show a property, which is already going to put a ton of agents out of business, because I was at an event with 200 of the top real agents in the country last week, where I was speaking with my buddy Sharon and my buddy Cody. Do you know how many people, right? Put in the chat. Do you know how many people have a buyer presentation that they were confident enough to put their hand up to say, I would like to do this in front of other people? Maybe 3 to 5% of the room, which means that 95% of some of the top agents would not raise their hand to do their buyer's presentation online or in front of somebody else, because they realize that they hadn't worked on it over the years, because nobody needed to work on a buyer presentation, because a lot of agents said, which is wrong, oh, well, the seller just pays us, so you're getting us for free. It's actually wrong. Like when the agent, right, says that, that's wrong, because the buyer and the seller come together. The buyer gets a mortgage, or the buyer goes to their bank, pulls out $380,000, pays escrow. Escrow then takes that money, splits it up. So it's actually technically the buyer paying for their own representation. But anyways, let's not get on a tangent here. So what I want to talk about today is what's going on in the market and what it means for you, because I actually think that the Fed not lowering rates is a good thing for you agents, right? I think that them not lowering the rate is a good thing for you agents. And the reason I feel that it's a good thing for you agents is it's going to put maybe a small pause in the marketplace. Now, be real, like raise your hand. How many of you, right? Be real. How many of you, hands up, how many of you are currently seeing multiple offers already in your marketplace, or seeing, right? I get online and all my friends are realtors. I have no life. I have no outside friends. I see this: cars lined up, open houses packed. Our personal clients, Vic, 17 offers. Why? Here's what's going on. All right. Here's what's going on. The rates came down a little bit. Buyers are now getting back into the market. They've been on hold for years, right? Just put a hand up if you're noticing buyers getting back into the market in your market. Now, every market's different, but overall, what we're seeing is a huge influx of buyers back into the market. We're not seeing the listings come though. So we have a lot of buyers, we have a lot of demand, and we have a lot of people that have been waiting for years to buy. People that missed out in 2021 are back ready to buy, right? What does that mean? So here's what it means. All right, let me just share some screen here with you guys. Let's go to here. Oh, share screen. Sorry, I'm using StreamYard. I haven't used it in a long time. So here's good news. Fed press conference was disappointing, but not devastating, right? The Fed essentially said, we're going to take a March interest rate cut off the table. It's going to put a pause on some buyers. This is an opportunity for you agents. Right? Because they're pausing, this is an opportunity for you guys to get back in front of your prospects and say something like this: ring, ring. We want to ask what's called a sorting question. All right. We want to ask what's called a sorting question. A sorting question is basically you give them a this or a that choice, a this or that. Write this down. Open-ended questions are stupid. They died in the pandemic. I'm not supposed to say that. It's going to hurt my views, right? Open-ended questions are not good for the beginning of a conversation. A prospect doesn't know how to answer an open-ended question. We had Cody and I had Sharon Srivastava. Cody runs Sheridan Street. If you guys need some ISAs, if you have a huge database of leads that are collecting dust and spider webs, hit me up. I'll give you a link to Cody's company. You guys can have a chat with him and he can help you guys reactivate your database. Freaking amazing. Here's what you need to say when you call back somebody who you might have talked to 6 months ago that said, we're not ready to buy. You're going to call them up. You're going to be curious. You're not going to be excited. You're not going to be the happy puppy. You're going to call them up. You're going to say something like this: ring, ring. Hey, Vikram. I'm going to go, yeah, who's this? They don't remember you. They don't remember you. Even if you're in great rapport, they don't remember you unless they say, hey, Vikram. They don't remember you. Just go with that as a general philosophy. Okay. Go with that as a general philosophy. I promise you. They don't remember you. They don't want to know how your day is, and they don't want to tell you how their day is. All right, TikTokers, I'm watching you, TikTokers. I love you. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. And you're going to go like this. Hey, hey, Vikram. Yeah. Hey, Vikram, it's just Bob here with Real Brokers. I know we had spoken about 6 months ago about you guys possibly looking to buy a home, right? Slow, curious. The whole conversation isn't going to be slow, just the beginning. And I was just curious. I was just wondering, right? I was just curious. I was just wondering, right? That immediately sets the tone that you have a question about them. Now, if you ask them a stupid question, you're going to get a bad response. But I was just wondering, is buying a home like a now thing, or is it more like end of the year thing? Oh, well, we're not in a rush, but if we found a great deal, we would consider buying a home now. Oh, okay, cool. And just so that I know, what does a great deal mean to you? And now they're going to specify what a great deal is. Right now, they're going to specify what a great deal means to them. All right. What you don't want to do is, hey, ring, ring. Hey, this is Vikram. I'm calling with Real Brokers. Remember we talked 6 months ago and you said you were going to be buying a house in January. Well, it's February. Are you ready to go? Look, are you pre-approved? Did you talk to a lender? Right. And you're going to trigger what we call sales resistance. We don't want to do that. We want to be neutral and calm. All right. So this is one of the questions that you could ask, right? Maybe you've had a conversation with this person 2 or 3 times. It's always been the same conversation. You keep getting resistance because you are triggering them with your tonality, the way you're asking the questions you're asking. Maybe you're asking open-ended questions. They don't know how to answer, so they give you a knee-jerk reaction. Hey, I was curious. Have you been studying the market, or you've been more like a little passive on what's going on in the housing market right now? Oh, we've been a little passive. Okay, so are you guys aware of like the multiple offers and the interest rates coming down, right? Another sorting question. Well, we're kind of watching the market. Like we've kind of seen what's happening. Our friends are telling us, right? And you're going to say something like this. Hey, I have a little bit of good news. No, bro, I'm not bringing you. No, man, no me. I'm not bringing you online on TikTok. Sorry, dude. I don't know who you are. I don't need no spam today. Here's your opportunity to have a conversation, right? Here's your opportunity to have a conversation with them. All right. Yeah. So, so you haven't been really tracking the market. Yeah, no worries. Hey, I was curious, right? You can go right into what we call the game plan frame. Hey, I was curious, like, what was it that actually was causing you guys to want to build a house, buy a house in the first place? Now they're going to give you a little bit of information about why they were out there. And then you go into the game plan frame. Well, has anybody actually sat down with you to tell you the 3 most important things about what it takes to buy a home in today's market and actually win in this multiple offers or get a really good deal? And they're going to say no, and you're going to book in the appointment. The reason why you guys don't win is because you guys don't know how to ask for an appointment, because you guys start asking about how many bedrooms. It doesn't matter. How many bathrooms? It doesn't matter. Are you pre-approved? It doesn't matter, right? You start asking all of these questions that don't matter. And then the prospect goes, oh, just call me back in 6 months, because they get overwhelmed. All right. Here's the second thing I want to show you. All right. If that's helpful, right? If that's helpful, if you're watching this live, type in live right now. If you're watching this on the playback, just put playback, right? Just so I know who's watching live, who's not. If you're watching live, put live. If you're watching playback, put the playback. And then if this is helpful, put a 1, right? Just put a 1 right now in the chat. So I know that this is helpful. Here's the second thing that's really good for you. Or here's the second thing that's actually really bad. It's something that you need to bring up to your prospects ASAP. Luxury home prices hit all-time highs as record share of high-end buyers pay cash. Holy crap, this was written last week. Record home prices hit an all-time high as record share of high-end buyers pay cash. We are talking about this every single week inside the Real Estate Sales Academy. We are talking about this with our clients right now, because if your client is putting 20% cash and they have to compete with an all cash buyer, are you Mr. and Mrs. Agent who told the buyer that you're an excellent negotiator? Be real. Are you actually confident that you can win this offer? I'm going to show you guys something, how we actually beat multiple offers. And I'm going to show you why agent to agent referrals matter. I'm going to show you guys how your ability to have a conversation right at the beginning of your journey with this buyer or seller is so important, right? So many agents think that just because you meet with somebody, they should work with you, right? Oh, I could sit down, I can win anybody. That's not true. Do you have a process for everything you do, right? So like, this is an old book. This is our old buyer's presentation from 2017, but let me show you this. So what does this mean? What does this mean in the chat? Luxury home prices hit an all-time high as record share of high-end home buyers pay cash. First off, this means y'all are in trouble, right? You're all in trouble if you don't know how to tell your client how to write a great offer. That happens in the buyer consultation. You teach your buyer, right? Oh, for those of you guys who are on TikTok, this is where I'm looking at Redfin News right now. All right, let's just show you the Redfin News, right? That was published 3 days ago, actually. Not even last week, I lied. It was published 3 days ago. All right. Y'all are in some serious trouble, right? If you don't know the basic tenets of a buyer consultation, right? Inside of a buyer's consultation, there are some basic things you should do. One is you should do a mock offer write-up. You should take a property and do a mock offer, and you should show them. Now, I don't have time to do all of that right now, right? Like I wish I had hours and hours and hours to spend with you like we do with our clients inside of the Growth Academy. So if you guys want more advanced trainings than these basic ones, just send me a DM or just put training below, and somebody or myself on my team will get back to you. You guys, just so you know, if you follow me on Instagram, which I hope you do, Coach Vikram Diol. If you're not, if you follow me on Instagram, I actually will 85 to 90% of the time, I will do my best to actually say hello to you. And you'd be shocked at how many people are like, oh my God, you actually said hello. Of course, if somebody follows you, to me, that's I think that's an important thing that we say hello to, right? So, oh, where's my buyer book? Well, that's weird. I just had it here. So, well, we had a multiple offer sheet inside of our buyer book. And the reason why we had that was because we showed to our prospects how we actually won, right? We showed them how we actually won. We beat out cash offers all the time, right? Because we had a system and a process of how we did everything. How you do anything is how you do everything. All right. How you do anything is how you do everything. If you're not willing to do things the right way, then you shouldn't expect people to work with you, because how you do anything is how you do everything, right? So I'll just show you our listing presentation because I can't find the buyer one. So if you find it helpful, if I just show you like my old listing presentation. Now, obviously this is old, right? This is outdated, but there's still some stuff in there that's very valuable. So inside of the chat, right, just put a 1 if you would find it helpful if I could show you my listing presentation real quick. Just put yes, and I'll show you that real quick, because here's what I want to show you. Right, here's what I want to show you inside of the listing presentation. Ooh, I got a gift. I got a 4. Yes, thank you, TikTok. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of TikTok. Okay, so here we go. Here's the here's the listing presentation. So what I want to show you is we talked very little about ourselves. Nobody cared. We talked a little bit about how our team had specialists. Nobody cared. We showed them how we took, right, properties that were expired and listed with other agents, right? We showed them how it was on the market for 180 days. We had it on the market for 2. We sold it for 1.6 million, right? So we showed them what we did, how we operated. But we're going to buyers, right? So we're going to buyers. So we had a sheet inside of our, right? So like inside of your buyer consultation, you could show this kind of information to a buyer. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, when a property's priced at what we call perceived market value, we know that 60% of the market's going to show up. If they price it a little bit below perceived market value, we know that we're going to get even more of the market. We're going to get 75%. If they price it significantly under perceived, we know that 90% of the market's going to see it. What that means is that if a property in the first 2 weeks has an offer review date, that means their agent is expecting to see multiple offers, right? And you show them these things. And then you show them this aspirational pricing, perceived market value, right? Price supported by the comparisons, market leaders, right? And then you show them negotiations, right? Now imagine this was not for our property. This was like our buyers, but look, we show them exactly how an multiple offer sheet is reviewed by a good agent, not an average agent that doesn't know what they're doing. We show them exactly, right, how the market is going to look at their offer. Because buyers live in a bubble. Sellers live in a bubble. They only think that what they do is important. But now you're showing them like, hey, this is the black and white. This is the reality. Like this person offered $936,000. This person offered list price, a couple bucks over list price. Who had the best consideration? These two, number 1 and 2. Right? You show them these things and then they're like, oh my God. Right. And then you do a mock offer. You do what's called a mock offer. And I have a whole 90-minute breakdown of how to do a mock offer, an offer submission, how to package the offer, right? How to get your lender involved. Like I have all of this broken down inside of the Real Estate Sales Academy. So if you want, right, if you're tired of getting your ass kicked by top agents and you're like, what do they do differently? They do a lot. All right. They do a lot. Your top agents do a lot of stuff differently. Their language patterns, their packaging, their agent-to-agent referral relationships, right? The way they communicate with their clients, the way they prep their client before they get into a car and start showing homes, right? The way they ask questions inside of the listing or the showing, all of those things is why top agents always stay top agents and mediocre average agents go out of the business or stay mediocre and average agents for their whole career, right? Is this helpful? Can I get a Y on TikTokers, right? If you're driving, like don't, but can I get a Y if this was helpful? Oh, you guys, I just saw that StreamYard couldn't capture my screen. Let me see if we can do it one more time. Let's see. Will StreamYard show my page? Okay. So you guys see this here, right? Like this multiple offer sheet. Do you have one of those? Right? Do you have one of those? Yes or no? Put an N if you don't have a multiple offer sheet. Put an N if you're not asking your buyers to do a mock offer at the beginning of the appointment, right? Put an N if you're not doing a buyer consultation. Put an N if you have a little bit of fear. Actually, put an F if you have a little bit of fear around doing a buyer's consultation with the buyer in 2024, because now they're going to have to ask the conversation, right? Now you actually have to ask the conversation of, hey, if the seller gives zero compensation, can you see how I'm worth my money? Do you feel confident doing that? Right? I do the mock and consultation, but the multiple offer, no. Awesome. Hey, you're 90% there. Right? Now, if we put in a little bit of tonality, we put in a couple of different frameworks, if we improve our outbound calls, the way that we set appointments up, you guys, people walk into a buyer's consultation and they've already done a ton of research, especially now because they've all seen the litigation, because every real estate agent has talked about the litigation on their social media. Did you guys hear about the NAR rules? Right? They would have never known had we not talked about it. Like they would have never known had we agents not put that up all over the marketplace, right? So we unfortunately hurt ourselves. You guys, my fragile ego loves to know that this stuff helps you, right? If this has been beneficial, could you just, right? Could you just say, oh my God, Vic, this is beneficial. If you want some more help, if you're not following me on Instagram, Coach Vikram Diol, we are the most active on Instagram. Inside of the Real Estate Sales Dojo Facebook group, that's a free group where we do live trainings like this. We also do a couple of extra things where we're a little bit more attentive and supportive. Obviously, it's hard to support people on every single platform that we're on in the world. There's just too much communication and noise for even a big team to keep track of it all. Join me inside the Real Estate Sales Dojo. If you want to see if like one of our virtual programs, right? If you want to see like if one of our virtual, like I'll just show you our Mighty Networks. I typically don't show this too often, but let me just show you like behind the scenes of our Mighty Networks. Like this is what our top clients get to log into every single day to learn. Like we just had Sharon Srivastava as a guest. The week before we had a TED Talk speaker who talked leadership, right? If this stuff sounds, oh my God, this would be, and I think this could possibly help me in 2024. I'm not saying it could or it couldn't. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but if you wish, right, when you got into real estate, you had what we call the trust, rapport, influence, sales method, right? This is how we use human psychology, human behavior to win more deals. So the first 3 modules are all around solid foundation for communication, right? The things that agents need to do or not do, the things that agents need to do to set their days up, right? Oops, TikTok, let me see if I don't know how to flip the screen here. Oh, I just gave myself a heart. That's cute. Let's flip the camera here. So, oops, let's go over here, TikTok. So you guys can see the screen here a little bit. It's not the greatest, but this is like our modules, right? We have an expired playbook. Everything's broken down to individual videos, right? How to do an outbound call, how to ask for the appointment. We have the $1 billion listing playbook, right? How to talk every single section of the listing, right? We have our open house playbook, right? 5 videos on how to do a better open house. Everything's broken down for you so that you don't have to think, you just have to go out and do. If that's something that you think might be helpful to help you go from 2 or 3 or 4 to 5, 6, 7 deals a month, just put in, I don't even know what I put anymore. Just say TRIS, and we'll send you like a little calendar invite. We'll allow you to book in some time on my calendar so we can talk a little bit more about what you're doing in your business to find those hidden gaps. Anyways, I hope this 23 minutes has been extraordinarily helpful. You'll probably want to go back and watch it a couple of times. And I will see you guys next week. Toodaloos. All right. How do we end?